Almost nobody in journalism ever mentions this. Batya Ungar-Sargon is one of the few who does. She just went on CNN over the weekend. I feel a little guilty playing a clip from a rival network, but this is just too good to miss. Here's how it went.
The media's response to Youngkin's victory is literally the reason that he won, right? How did they respond?
There's 100 medias, 100 reactions. You're pretty overly generalizing, I think.
Let me get more specific for you, okay? Because I have to say, I have to admit, having watched CNN all week, there's been a lot of very, very, very good genuflection on this front. But what happened right after the election was you saw host after host after host on MSNBC saying, oh, this is a victory for white supremacy, right? White supremacy wins again. Racism wins again. When, you know, the lieutenant governor that Youngkin won with will be the first black woman to hold that job. When Glenn Youngkin managed to flip majority black districts.
Batya Ungar-Sargon is the deputy opinion editor at Newsweek, also author of the new book, Bad News, How Woke Media is Undermining Democracy. She joins us tonight. Batya, thanks so much for coming on. Starting
question in the chat: to what extent does Tucker believe the things that he says on his show? I don't think there's a big discrepancy between what he believes and the things he says. I think that he is so closely aligned with where his audience is inclined that he believes in feeding his audience. And that just makes it easier for him to do what he does. And I think some of what he does is awesome, and some of what he does is stupid.
Embarrass you that clip. It was
oh my
just
gosh,
too
Tucker, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course. So you say it's undermining democracy. What I think is interesting about your take on it is you take it to, I think, a deeper level.
Leaked emails revealed that Tucker didn't believe the 2020 election was stolen. Correct, but he also didn't believe many of the Trump lies about the election. He said on his show that many of the cases against the validity of the election were false. So Tucker was not one of the main peddlers of the 2020 election was stolen thesis.
It's more than just annoying. There's a purpose to all this. What do you think the purpose is?
Well, I think you really nailed it in your opening, Tucker. You know, you started out by saying that we have this deep class divide in America that separates the people who are really feeling, you know, the inflation at the gas pump from the people who live in, you know, coastal cities who maybe don't drive, maybe they take Ubers,
Yes.
maybe they take the subway. And the history of journalism in the 20th century in America is the history of a class of people moving from one of those classes to the other. Right? Journalism used to be a working class trade, and throughout the 20th century, journalists became part of the American elites. And as they did so, they abandoned the working class of all races. And what we're seeing now with woke media